Letter 9, my dearest Ophelia. Tonight, as the cart rattles over the stones of the road and my companions doze one by one, I find my heart troubled. It is not the road nor the dangers upon it that weigh upon me, but the silence. I have written to you each night, as I swore I would, yet still no word has reached me from your hand. I do not forget, beloved, that your days are long and full. You carry our village upon your shoulders, the sick to tend, the herbs to gather, the children to chase from mischief. And I know too that you wield magics I have only dimly understood, spells that can carry your voice across leagues if you so choose. You have used them before to guide hunters lost in the forest, or to call aid when time was dire. That no whisper has come to me does not lessen my love for you, but it troubles me nonetheless. Perhaps it is foolish to expect such wonders to be bent for something so simple as a husband's longing. Perhaps the distance is too great, or perhaps you are weary, or perhaps... Ah, Ophelia, perhaps you are simply too busy, as you always are, giving more of yourself than you ever keep. Still, I cannot help but listen at night for some trace of your voice in the wind. When I hear only the rustle of leaves or the crack of the fire, I tell myself it is enough to write, enough to pour my soul upon these pages, and trust that in time, they will find their way to your hands. Do not mistake me. I do not doubt you. Never. But I miss you so fiercely that the silence feels like a second exile. The others laugh, they sing, they bicker as siblings might, and though I smile with them, inside I long for nothing more than the sound of you calling me fool, with that half smile you wear only for me. If you cannot reach me, then let my words reach you. Carry them with you. Read them when the nights grow long, and know that though I have not heard your voice, I hear you still in all things. In the dawn, in the river's song, in the crackle of fire. All these speak your name. To me, yours, waiting and unwavering. Icarus, Letter 10, my dearest Ophelia. At last, beloved, the road grows short. By the reckoning of my companions, we are but 7 days' travel from the great city where Leore's temple rises. 7 days. That is all that separates me from the fulfillment of this task you placed upon me. Yet even with the end in sight, my thoughts are only of you. We stopped tonight in a small town, little more than an inn and a smith shop, where the roofs sag with moss and the air smells of wood smoke. The innkeeper, a broad woman with a laugh like thunder, crammed us into rooms 2 by 2, and so I find myself sharing a chamber with Bram. The dwarf snores like a charging boar, and I confess it is difficult to keep my quill steady while he soars away behind me. I tried 3 times to begin this letter, only for him to stir and grumble. "What's that you're scribbling, lad? Writing to your lass again?" At first I thought to brush him off, but Bram is not one to be denied. He pressed me with questions. What your name was, what you looked like, how long we had been wed. And once I began, Ophelia, I could not stop. I told him everything. I told him of your eyes, sharp as any blade, yet soft as moonlight when you smile. I told him of the way you tilt your head when you are thinking, of how your hands smell of herbs no matter how often you wash them, of the sound of your laugh when I stumble over my words, like a lovesick fool. I told him of the day we first met, when you scolded me for trampling your seedlings, and I thought no goddess could have crafted a woman so fierce, so radiant, so utterly alive. And I told him of the day you took my hand, and I knew in that instant that I would walk through fire, shadow, or storm, if only it led me back to you. When at last my tongue slowed, Bram grew quiet. Then, in a voice softer than I thought him capable of, he spoke of his own wife waiting for him in the mountains. A sturdy dwarf woman, he said, with arms strong enough to wield a smith's hammer, and a laugh louder even than his own. His eyes shone when he spoke of her, and I saw in him the same devotion that fills my heart for you. In that moment, though, he is short and loud and fond of too much ale. I felt a kinship with him that surprised me. Love, it seems, is the same, no matter the shape of the hand that holds it. He has his mountain, I have my forest, but in both waits a wife who is the heart of all things. So here I sit, at last able to write these words, though my eyes grow heavy and Bram's snores rattle the rafters. 7 days more, Ophelia. 7 days until I kneel before Leore's altar and fulfill what you entrusted to me. Pray that my steps remain steady, as I pray that your heart feels my nearness even across the miles. Always, Icarus letter. 11 my dearest Ophelia, the road has brought us many strangers, but today I met one I believe was sent by Providence. A rider in polished mail approached us, bearing upon his breast the lily and son of Leore, a paladin on his way west to bring aid to a plague-struck valley. His presence was quiet yet steady, like a hearth fire in winter. We broke bread together, beneath a stand of oaks, and while the others laughed and jostled, I found myself speaking to him of the things that have been happening to me. The bandits, the great beast, the moments where something greater than myself rose within me. So sudden, so vast, that for an instant, I hardly felt like I was my own man. I feared he might scoff, or else name me a fool, but he did not. He listened, eyes calm as water, and then he said, I cannot say with certainty this is Leore's direct hand, but what I sense upon you is no ill omen. It feels familiar, as though something you have always known has simply chosen now to step beside you. Overwhelming, yes, but not foreign. Protective even. Ophelia. His words struck me deeply. That is exactly how it has felt. Not terrible, not alien, simply more than I can hold, yet warm in its enormity. It is like recalling an old song I had nearly forgotten, one that stirs the heart as though it has always belonged to me. The paladin placed his hand upon my shoulder before we parted and said, when it comes, do not fight it. Accept its shelter. But remember, your true root is not in power, but in love. Anchor yourself there. And of course I thought of you. Always you. You are the root that holds me steady, the love that keeps me from being swept away by any tide. If Leore herself is watching over me, it must be because of the devotion you set in my heart. And if it is some other presence, then still it seems bent toward my protection, and I will not spurn its aid. I miss you more with each mile, and though you have not sent word, I tell myself you must be busy tending the village. Still, when you find a moment, send me your words. They are more sustaining than any meal I share with my companions. Yours always, Icarus. Letter. 12 my dearest Ophelia. Today the road offered me a small gift that made me think of you so keenly that I nearly laughed, aloud. Along the hedgerows, tangled among brambles, I spied a thicket heavy with wild blackberries. Your blackberries, the very kind you used to gather in your apron, your lips stained darker than wine by the time we returned home. I could not pass them by. I filled my hands and pockets until the others teased me, and when we made camp that evening, I mashed the fruit and stirred it into a simple jam. It was nothing more than berries, a little sugar I carried, and thyme over the fire. But when I spread it on the hard bread that had begun to stale, the taste was sweet and sharp enough to make us all smile. Bram declared that I must be part magician, for no cook he knew could turn road rations into something fit for a king. As I worked over the fire, something curious happened. For the briefest moment, I thought I smelled your perfume carried on, the wind, faint, delicate, like the first breath of lilacs in spring. I glanced over my shoulder then, and I swear, beloved, I could almost feel you there, standing behind me as though watching, as though waiting for me to turn and see you. The feeling passed quickly, leaving me only with warmth, but I held on to it as though it were your touch on my back. Perhaps it was only my heart playing tricks on me. Yet, if Leora, or whatever presence shelters me, can grant me such a vision even for a heartbeat, then I am grateful beyond words. We march still toward the city. Each step brings me nearer to your side in spirit. For every mile is one more I will soon have left behind. Always yours, Icarus. Letter. 13 my beloved Ophelia. The capital draws near. By our reckoning, we are but 2 days' march from Abberanth's gates, and though my body aches, my heart is restless, beating faster as each hour passes. I wish, more than words can carry, that I could send this letter to you at once and feel your reply before we enter the city. So much has happened. So much I must tell you. We were attacked on the road, Ophelia. Not by bandits this time, nor by beasts of the forest, but by creatures, fierce enough to make even Bram pale, wyverns. They descended from the cliffs at mid-morning, their cries splitting the sky like thunder. There were 3 of them, each large enough to bear a horse away in its talons. My companions drew steel without hesitation, and so did I. At first, we held our ground well. The ranger loosed arrow after arrow. The dwarf's hammer rang true against scale and bone, and I myself fought harder than I thought I could. But battle is a fickle thing, and soon the tide turned. One of the beasts broke through our line and bore me down, its claws sinking deep into my chest. I could feel its hot breath on my face, the weight of its body pinning me so firmly I could barely draw breath. In that moment, I believed, truly, that I was about to die, and then it came again. The presence. That same overwhelming, yet strangely familiar force surged through me. But this time, beloved, I was not lost in it. I was aware. I could feel each breath, each heartbeat. It was not like drowning in power, as before. It was as though gentle hands guided me, steadying mine the way you did when you first showed me how to crush leaves into paste for a poultice. Do you remember? I was clumsy, grinding too hard, and you placed your hands over mine to show me the right pressure, the right care. That is how it felt. Not possession, not domination, but guidance. A reminder that I was never alone, even beneath the crushing weight of talons and death. What happened next, I can only describe from what the others told me. I remember heat flooding my veins, light bursting behind my eyes, and then nothing. When I woke, it was night, and I lay beside a fire. My companions gathered close. They had bandaged the wounds in my chest as best they could. Their faces were pale, drawn with both exhaustion and awe. They confirmed what I already knew. The presence had taken me again. But they spoke, too, of something new. Your eyes, the ranger said, his voice trembling. We would have sworn. They changed like stone catching light. Not green, but opal, shifting, shining. Bram nodded in solemn agreement, saying he had never seen anything like it. I touched my face then, though of course nothing felt different. Yet their words stirred me deeply. Ophelia, opal. The very stone you wore in the pendant your mother gave you, the one you let me hold in my hand the night we first confessed our love. Do you think it coincidence? I cannot. There is some thread weaving these things together, and I am caught in its tapestry, whether I will it or no. Even so, I am not afraid. Not anymore. For every time this force rises in me, I feel you near. Today, beneath the wyvern's weight, I swear I felt your hand over mine again. If this presence is Lior, then she works through the memory of you. If it is some other grace, then still it knows the shape of my love and uses it to keep me alive. We are 2 days from Abberanth now. 2 days until I kneel at Lior's altar and place the offering you entrusted me with. 2 days until, perhaps, I understand more of what is happening to me. Yet I think no revelation, no temple, no god could give me greater strength than the thought of you waiting for me in our village. Your hands smelling of sage and rosemary, your eyes sharp and kind all at once. I will finish this letter here, for my hand grows tired, and the dwarf is stirring in his sleep again. He snores like a storm breaking against rocks. But know this, Ophelia. Each breath I take is for you, and though my eyes may shine like opal, or my body be overtaken by some great light, it is you who anchors me, always you. With all my love, Icarus, letter 14. My dearest Ophelia, at last, my love. This will be the final letter I write before we arrive in Abberanth. Tomorrow by sunset we should see its spires rising above the plains, and the thought fills me with a happiness so great I can hardly sit still long enough to put these words to paper. After so many miles, so many nights beneath the open sky, the end of this journey lies just ahead. Though our bodies still bear the marks of battle, spirits in our little band have lifted in these last days. It began with a simple song, a tune Bram started in his gravelly voice as we trudged along the road. Soon, the ranger joined, then the fighter, and before long even I was singing, my voice cracked and rough but earnest. We sang of hearth fires, of lovers waiting at windows, of fields golden in the sun. Some songs were old, some newly invented, with verses so ridiculous that we laughed until our sides ached. There is a kind of magic in song, Ophelia. It does not heal wounds or knit bone, but it makes the road shorter, the packs lighter, and the ache in our chests a little less sharp. I saw it in the eyes of my companions, how they straightened, how they smiled despite bandages and bruises. For a moment, I even forgot the sting of the wyvern's claws. Tonight we sit around the fire one last time before reaching the city, and though I miss you fiercely, I cannot deny there is joy in this fellowship. They have become dear to me, each in their own way, and I know that without them, this road would have been far lonelier. Yet even in laughter, my heart is always pulled back to you. When the songs fell quiet and only the crackle of the fire remained, I thought again of your voice, and how sweet it will be to hear you chide me for singing off-key when I return. Tomorrow, beloved, tomorrow the walls of Abberanth will rise before us, and I will carry your gift to Leore's altar at last. Whatever awaits me there, answers, blessings, or only silence, I go with you in my heart. That is enough. That will always be enough. Yours, in joy and longing, Icarus letter. 15 My dearest Ophelia, at last, beloved, I can write these words. We have reached Abberanth. The city is every bit as vast and wondrous as the traveller's tales promised. Its walls high as mountainsides, its streets alive with voices, carts and lanterns burning bright in the night. After so many weeks on the road, the sheer weight of people and stone nearly overwhelmed me. We arrived at the gates just as the sun was dipping behind the horizon. By the time we found our way through the crowded avenues to Leore's great temple, the doors were already shut for the night. The paladin who stood watch at the steps was kind enough, but firm. No pilgrims are received after dusk. And so wait. My companions and I found an inn not far from the temple square, and I write to you now from a small room with a window that looks out upon Abberanth's endless streets. The others are already asleep, but I find rest difficult to grasp tonight. My heart pounds with both relief and anticipation. Tomorrow at first light, I will step through Leore's gates, carrying the offering you entrusted to me. I do not know what I will feel, what I will learn, or whether I will emerge changed, but I will go faithfully in your name. It is strange, Ophelia. I thought that upon reaching the city, I would feel only triumph, the satisfaction of a task nearly complete. But instead, I feel quiet, as though I stand at the edge of a tide about to wash over me. It is not fear. No, nothing like fear. Only the awareness that something greater than myself waits just ahead. By this time tomorrow, the offering will rest at Leore's altar, and perhaps some piece of this mystery will begin to unfold. Whatever happens, know that I have carried you in every step of this journey. Even here, amidst the noise of the capital, I close my eyes and feel you near. Tomorrow, my love. Tomorrow. Always yours, Icarus.